What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is EVE Online, and we are going to do the Crimson Harvest Fields. Now, I'm going to warp in and see if anybody's there. I suspect that there won't be, but regardless, this is one of the two sites that are available in the Crimson Harvest event. I went looking for information on this. I couldn't find it, so I'm making a couple videos. I've done this quite a bit now. I've even used shiny marbles to mine some of the stuff. And this is where you would go if you want to mine the ore, this chthonic Atar ore. The first pocket that you load into will have one or two asteroids with maybe 500 pieces between the two of them of ore, I think, somewhere in there. I've not scanned it, but that's been kind of my experience if I stop to harvest. There's usually 2 to 4 frigates here. So if you're going to warp in Orca or some mining ship, see, there you go. There's your 2 asteroids. You should probably just be aware that you're going to be... yeah, that you're going to be facing a little bit of this. So they don't do too much damage over the short amount of time it takes you to reach the gate. So I'm not going to waste time killing them. But something to be aware of. Although they do web, but I'll be in range momentarily here. There we go. See you later, guys. All right, now this is a more difficult site to run effectively than the Crimson Gauntlet, and I'll show you why here in just a moment. There are a lot of asteroids here, as you can see, unlike in the previous video in the Crimson Gauntlet. And if we look at our large collidable object, there are 3 items, these 3 silos that you can destroy. Each silo will spawn a wave of enemies. I have found that I prefer to do things this way, where I will head straight. There's a proximity spawn when you get close to the banana, which is this Amar. I just call it a banana because it looks kind of like a banana, and that's where we are. So there's a proximity spawn where if I get close to this thing, a whole raft of shit will spawn. And so I'm going to drop my MTU back here. I'm going to save the location so that I can come back to it. And basically, I'm going to fly here until the site spawns, and then I'm going to warp out, and then I'll come back and destroy them from afar. And you'll understand why in a second. There is a lot of damage that comes out of this in a very short period of time. So we'll just keep flying. We leave Pamela, the MTU, behind us. And I've got a station targeted. There's the one that's nearby. Something happened. We'll get into that later, though. Alright. Should be any moment now. A bunch of random crap will spawn. And I will GTFO. I'm in a battleship. I'm flying a Macarial. It's relatively... it's not a super blingy fit, but it's pretty blingy. Alright. So, first this wave, and then look, there's another wave. So suddenly now you've got a whole bunch of shit on the field. And...
warp drive active.
Yep, you're going to get nuded pretty strong. You're going to get webbed. And the damage is going to start pouring in. So, we're 40 kilometers away from Pamela. I'm going to warp out. I'll repair up. I'll just boost my shields once or twice. And then, I'll come back in. And let's see. And we'll just go right back in and we'll start picking things off from afar as they fly towards us. It's strange, but the frigates in these event sites do a lot of damage. And so if you can get far enough away from them to sort of pick off some of the larger ships that do more damage in each hit, that you can sort of like mitigate and slow down the damage that you're taking as it gets into range to do damage to you. So this is the way I have found to be successful in doing this in the least, I don't know, anxiety inducing way. Another way is to just blow up those 3 silos one by one. Shoot one, kill that wave, shoot another, kill that wave, shoot the third, kill that wave, and and then and then slowly slow boat over to the banana, spawn the different waves, and deal with all of them all at once. I prefer to do it in the opposite order just because now I can warp in, and I don't know. It's just personal preference. So you do it how you feel is best and that you're most comfortable with. This is the way I've decided to do it. And what I may even do is, instead of warping or orbiting Pamela, I may come over here and orbit one of these. So we'll just target some of these cruisers and frigates that are nearby. I'll drop, yep, get the drones in there, and I think everything is still targeting me. I'll just get my drones started right away on some frigates. I can take out the cruisers by myself for the most part. If I was really dedicated, I could also shoot these frigates from this far out, but I'm not too concerned. So there's like, it only looks like on this wave I've got 1 battleship, but the damage, as you saw previously, that was incoming was significant. Okay, don't. That was stupid. Pulled my guns off a little too quickly. Yeah, so all of these things have to slowly come to me. And you may be noting, if you've watched the previous video, that we're looking for commanders for some of these harvest goals. And commanders don't spawn from these proximity waves, but a whole bunch of other stuff does. So, although it looks like there's one, I spoke too quickly. So, I'm pretty sure it's just the one. But I think there are fewer commanders that spawn in this site as opposed to the Gauntlet site. But yeah, as you noticed, when we were flying towards the banana, it looked like there were 2 separate proximity waves that spawned, and they're very close to each other. So it would be, I never found that I could reliably spawn one and get out, clear it, and then go back in and spawn the other one. So you may find that you are equally challenged and that they both spawn basically at the same time, and you have to deal with them both at the same time, which is what we're going through right now. So now that the ships are closing in, there were quite a few. Let's get a few more cruisers targeted here. That's the commander. And yeah, so I find that this is the way for me anyway to kind of manage the incoming damage. The cruisers go down pretty quickly. The battle cruiser, this what is it, Slender Cook or whatever his name was, he goes down slowly, but the destroyer isn't terribly tanky, so don't worry too much about him. So now I'm pretty much on top of things. And I still have these 3 spawns to go through. So if you want to just kill these things as quickly or get as many kills as possible, then the harvest fields is a way to do it. And if nobody is in here, once you've cleared the site of enemies and all of the different waves, if no one is in here to mine and you go out, your loot cans most likely will despawn with the site. If you bookmark your mobile tractor unit, then that will remain and you can come back for it and you can find it. But I think that the site despawns pretty quickly. There we go. Let's still have a few frigates to get through. I believe that's what our drones are busying themselves with. Might as well start orbiting Pamela. Wasting a lot of ammo on this destroyer. Might as well get my drones on it. So this one takes longer, and if you want to bring out your mining characters, once you've gotten that initial burst of enemies under control, I think the other 3 waves are manageable, especially if it's like an orca. I've sat there in my orca in high sec while somebody else was clearing the site, and I didn't have too many troubles. So I just minded my own business. Nothing really came to me. I was out in the outskirts here mining off of these asteroids. And so it's not like I was like in the middle of all of the enemies. So take that for what it's worth. But keep yourself, if somebody comes in and you're in here mining and nothing has been spawned yet, I would align yourself so that if, like, especially if you're only in a Hulk, I would align yourself so that if things go awry, you're not totally overwhelmed. So I'll pull my drones in. I don't want to target my own MTU. I don't need to have that running. Alright, there we go. You can see a few battleships, cruisers, and frigates. Both the nice thing and the frustrating thing about this harvest field site is that everything spawns a good ways away. Alright, so yeah, it's an asteroid that's there. I'm trying to find something better to orbit. No. What about that? No? Okay. I guess we could always just go orbit the battleship. That'd get us out there. Trying to find an air. Yeah. We can orbit that for the moment. I gotta keep my drones on these frigates. See, at this point now, I don't need to worry about flying too close to the station over there, which you can't target. So, at least by doing that, I've taken that out of the realm of mistakes that I can make. trying to minimize the opportunity to screw yourself is always a necessary thing. But there are a lot of ships that spawn in this site, so come in with more than enough ammo and with your expectations set appropriately. Do I want to orbit that? Yeah, let's orbit that. Why not? And then it's 2 more waves like that, basically. And these silos drop loot, although I think in the past I've found that it's all only really... might as well reload and boost up our shields a bit while we can. That it's mostly just, you know, damaged... What is it? The scrap metal, basically. And you can see each wave is very similar. A couple battleships, 2 to 4 cruisers, and some frigates. There we go. Always takes a while to target those frigates. So, I found that it's kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other, that while there are more things to fight here, and I guess there's less travel time because you don't have to find another gauntlet to go into, that the amount of ships that you can kill over a period of time may be similar if you just keep running gauntlets, and as opposed to just running one big harvest site here, these harvest fields. Since there are so many ships that spawn here, if you're just looking to kill things, then that's, it's not a bad idea to just come in here, get yourself situated, get your other guys mining in the area, and just, clear these waves as safely as you can. So, many ways to go about it. I'm never sure also where to drop my MTU. I tried flying out, dropping it right when I spawned the proximity spawns, and I didn't feel like that sped things up at all. But you can tell Pamela is like 40 kilometers out, and all of these things are, another 20 to 40 away from me here. So it's hard to know the best place. Yeah. Oh well. I'll keep playing with it. I only just started running these sites as opposed to the gauntlet sites in earnest, like yesterday. My other character, Marbles, doesn't have the combat capability to manage a site like this, although in an Orca, he was able to clear 1 or 2 of these waves by himself with light drones, just because of the drone bonus that you get on an Orca. It was kind of funny. Acolyte 2s or whatever will wreck shit with a 400% damage bonus. Alright, we got 1 more to go. I can reload. Yeah, this last one I find is often a little bit smaller than the rest. Yeah, we'll bring those out right when we're about to target the frigates. and then this site basically is done. So there's a bunch of stuff to mine out here, and because it's all spread far apart, excuse me, you will have to do some slow boating around if you're in an orca or something like that. But it's once you get it cleared, or even if you don't want to clear it, if you show up and no one is running these sites, if you come out here and mine, as long as you don't go mine right next to the station over there, you're going to be really safe. So don't destroy the silos, don't go next to the station, and you're going to be able to mine out here to your heart's content. And we're talking on the order of hours. So there's a lot of ore, and usually I very rarely see people out here mining, so if you're going to do it, you should be left alone for the most part. And that pretty much wraps it up. So I'm going to end the video here. I'll fly around and loot and help my MTU close things out. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, enjoy the Crimson Harvest event, and I'll see you in the next video.